Scott, thank you very much for that. Uh, uh. Scott Samuel's son with the heads up. Hey. Late night with BDD. This shit is loud. Hold on. Oh, it's loud for me. Hang on. What up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Late Night with BDD. I'm your host, BDD, aka Brooklyn Dad. Happy Monday night. Not too much going on today. Let's see what's happening. Well, first of all, if you are a New York sports fan, you're sitting high on the hog. You're pretty happy today because let's see, Aaron Rodgers just got traded onto the Jets. That's a big deal. Like, I'm a Giants fan, but I do root for my New York teams. So, hey, there's Simon. Simon is back. Sherry Scary is here. Patricia Haverkamp. David Shaw. It has been a while for you on here. Cecile Kazemi is here. Cha-cha. Tanya Vav is here. Tina G. LB is here. The Trump Reaper, of course. Scott Samuelson with the timely pull up there. Lucy L. Cindy C. Everybody's here. The gang's all here. And John Andrews Anagnostaras. Why do I feel like that's like that's Meek Spees? John Andrews Anagnostaras. That is a hell of a name. That is a mouthful and a half. So welcome, everybody. Yeah, so aside from the Jets, New York Knicks, we are holding it down. My Knicks are we're up 3-1 on Cleveland, on the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm not going to, toot my horn too loud because the NBA, the sports gods don't like that shit. So, but it feels good. It feels good. My fellow Knick fans were blocking traffic on 7th Avenue this week and literally just like out in the street, like, what? We're celebrating here. It's so good. So good. What else is new? Let's see. Some big things happened today. Very big. Very big. Let's do a quick rundown. Okay, well, first, this is something that happened this weekend. There was a movement, block the blue check mark movement. This was kind of stupid in my opinion, but it happened. It's happening. I don't agree with it, but it is what it is. Don Lemon, who was with CNN for 17 years, was sacked, was let go today, and he didn't find out until like most of us found out on the interwebs. And of course, Tucker Carlson, the former king of Bullshit Mountain, has been kicked the hell off. And the implications for this, the reverberations, we are still seeing this, and we're going to be seeing it for some time because it's a big deal. It's a very big deal. Last but not least, if you're just joining us, please hit that subscribe button. We bring the content to you as you like. Listen to this wonderful music. Look at this handsome face. We have wonderful guests here. We don't have a guest tonight, but we don't care about that. What the hell? Chris says, too bad Lemon didn't get the one-man pizza party. Sorry. That shit is funny. I'm sorry if you're a fan of Don Lemon. I like Don Lemon personally. I think I think Don Lemon caught a lot of flack during his time there from the right wing. Like when Don Lemon got on some shit that was some good shit, like they were out, oh, fire Don Lemon. And I thought you guys were the, anti-cancel crowd. What happened? Don Lemon said something that hurts your fifis and you go bonkers. Anyway, I thought he caught a lot of shit from people that was unwarranted. Personally, my personal opinion. And I feel like a lot of the shit that Tucker Carlson caught was warranted. What did you think I was going to say? Of course, Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson is almost single-handedly responsible for a lot of the garbage that we find ourselves submerged in today. I'll get into that later. But first, let me give you an update on the whole. Actually, before we get into that thing, I want to talk about President Biden, okay? Because it's imminent. An announcement from President Biden is imminent that he is going to seek re-election next year. And I'm seeing some bullshit. Let's see, what time? How long have I been on the air so far? 6 minutes. I've seen some fucking bullshit. I gotta wait 5 minutes before I drop the F-bomb, guys. I've seen some fucking bullshit polls out there where supposedly 70% of Americans don't want President Biden to run because of his age. Are you fucking kidding me, bro? Are you kidding me? That is the most stupid shit. It is stupid. Who is going to run in his place? Tell me that. Tell me that you are that fucking dense that you would rather see Donald Trump or worse, Ron DeSantis in the White House instead of President Biden, who, okay, maybe sometimes he messes up a few words on a teleprompter speech. So what? He's not fucking crazy. He's not crazy. He's not hateful. He's doing things for the American people. Thank you, Jennifer Markham. Jennifer pointing out helpfully, out of 1,000 surveyed, because as I get myself, I say thank you to you, Jennifer, because as I get myself heated, I forget to remind myself that you got to keep things in perspective. Okay, it's 1,000 people out of what? Out of 170 million registered voters? Come on. And here's another one. Gator Girl. Thank you. You guys are right on point with these reminders here. Gator Girl is saying, you cannot trust these polls this early. We know Biden is the one. Thank you for that. And here's another one. Great one from our friend Simon. By the way, Simon is across the pond. It's the middle of the night. It's like 2:30 in the morning. No, almost 3 o'clock in the morning there. And here he is hanging with us. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. Wait, it's almost 4, I think. Simon says, Joe's proven that age means nothing, but experience counts for a lot. I'm going to read that again because that is right on the money. Age means nothing, but experience counts for a lot. Now, not only has President Biden been in the Senate for, what did he say, 47 years? He joked, wait, maybe that's right. He was in the Senate for a really long time. Then he was in the White House with President Obama for 8 years. And now he's in the middle of his first, what we hope is his first of 2, his first 4-year term as president. Now, it's perfectly cool for you to respectfully disagree with me. Ren Zenith here. Ren Zenith says he respectfully disagrees. I like a respectful disagreement. I do. I encourage that. In fact, I see a lot of comments on my tweet threads that are really disrespectful. And then they wonder why I don't engage with them. Like, brother, I ain't got to spend time with you if you're going to diss me. What? Anyway, Um, find it respectfully disagree. But look, listen, I'll give you this, right? Is age a concern? Yeah, I'd be lying if I said, I feel completely 100% comfortable with his physical state. I'd be lying if I said that. I'm not. And I'm being honest, right? Do I think it will prevent him from carrying out his duties? No, not yet. Not yet. He's still showing that he's got strong mental acuity up here. And he's got guardrails around him. He's got people that are principled, who know what the hell they are doing. And I think, here's what I think. I think our side has a tendency to police ourselves in good faith. I think when we see shit that is messed up on our side, somebody's going to call it out. That's what I think. Like, for instance, if in some bizarro universe, Donald Trump was ours, he wouldn't have made it 4 years. He would not have made it 4 years. Carrying on like that? No. There's no way. There's no way. In fact, he wouldn't have made it through 2 State of the Unions. I'll tell you that. But for right now, I think President Biden is our strongest hope of securing the White House for another 4 years, regardless of whether it's Trump or DeSantis. I'm a little bit more nervous about if the nominee ends up being DeSantis. But did you guys see his nutty answer today in Japan? What the hell is he doing? What is Ron DeSantis doing in Japan? What is he doing in Japan? And they asked him something about his running for president, and his head was bobbling all over the place. It was bizarre. I can't believe I forgot to download that to my show here, but you guys have seen the bobble-headed Ron video. Is Florida still drowning? Trump Reaper wants to know. I'm not down there. Is anybody in Florida watching? Can you guys report? What's the state of Fort Lauderdale right now? Still underwater? I'm curious to know. But yeah, if it ends up being Ron DeSantis, I'm nervous, but you got to go with the people who brought you to the dance. And right now, President Biden he is the most legislatively accomplished president in modern history. More than Obama, more than Clinton, modern history. Okay? He is, up until we started having issues with Dianne Feinstein on the Senate Judiciary Committee, he had been appointing judges at a record pace. He is he was passing bills left and right that are really reaping benefits right now. The Inflation Reduction Act is working. Is having a real impact. The CHIPS Act, the PACT Act. I could go on and on and on about all these different acts that are bringing money to smaller communities, that are bringing money to disadvantaged communities, on and on and on. So he is our best hope for continuing on the path of progress, right? Who else? Who's going to step in there? Gavin Newsom? Maybe 2008. 2008, Gavin Newsom. Same for Pete Buttigieg. I like Pete Buttigieg. He's getting beat up a little bit, but I think he's one of the smartest guys in the room, if not the smartest guy in the room. Very smart. But I still think maybe a little green under the ears. Give him 4 more years of experience under his belt, and he's a lock. He's a lock for, did I say 2008? Sorry. Sorry. 2028. Yeah, and Lizzie Elliott, hopefully, definitely not Kennedy. Not Kennedy. Please, not that shit. So anyway, let's go President Biden. He's got my full support until further notice. If I see him, look, if I see him like malfunctioning, you know, if it looks to me, and you'll often hear people say you can't give a diagnosis through the TV, and I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a doctor, so I can't diagnose them over the TV. But if it looks like, you know, his better days are long gone, then we back another candidate. All right. So where was I? Okay, so I wanted to get back to this topic here that we covered in the last episode. In the last episode, we were talking about the whole Twitter blue controversy. So Elon Musk like just made the verified blue checks go away, right? Now they're actually for some reason they are actually still there, but I was catching some flack for, you know, still having my blue check. Strangely enough, my blue check expired, you know, my contract for it expired on the 22nd, which was Saturday. So I now no longer have blue check on the face of it, right? So as you see right there, if you go to my page, you will not see a blue check. However, this is interesting, right? So let me put this, make my screen bigger here. Check this shit out. Okay, so there's my page, right? Now, the funny thing is, when you click on edit profile, you see there, like I can see a faint blue check right there. And it says, your profile is under review. After a short grace period, no new changes are allowed to name and profile picture until the review is completed, right? So that's because I wanted to replace the peace sign with a blue heart. Anyway, so I clicked on edit profile. And as you guys can see, you see that blue mark there? So all of I'm saying this to say to my my fellow former legacy verified accounts, you probably still have your blue check. It's just being made invisible. You know, this guy is ridiculous. I wish, here's a great one from the Trump Reaper here. Can somebody persuade Bernard Arnault, I'm assuming these are all billionaires, Bill Gates, Larry Ellison, any billionaire to buy Twitter off Musk? I've been hoping and praying for that very thing. So thank you for that. LB correctly saying Elon broke Twitter. Yes. It's just, it's such a shame because Twitter is where we all kind of came together as a community. Okay. Oh, anyway, so this weekend there was a thing going on called Block the Blue Checks, where basically anybody who subscribed to Twitter Blue was getting blocked. And I think I lost a few thousand followers this weekend alone. Just so stupid. It's really stupid because here's the deal, right? Elon Musk is doing his damnedest to whittle our ability to communicate as a group, to whittle that shit down to the nub, to wear us out with trolls with negative experiences, by um, suppressing our signal, our content, right? And so, what does blocking people on our side do? It makes our signal even weaker. So you're basically giving the voices on the right a uh, a megaphone. You're letting them be way louder than us, and that is not helpful. It is not helpful. Elon specifically, he said specifically, if you block people, that counts as like a downvote, and it's diminishing people's signal strength. So that's not helpful. If you want to block the clowns, those I got $8 and I'm just here to shitpost, block those guys, but don't block those of us that are like fucking day in and day out trying to make a difference. Don't do that. Come on. Simon says there's a pleasant lack of trolls in here this morning. You might have just jinxed us. Let me knock on wood. And by the way, I find this meme hilarious. This thing is so funny. I'm sure by now you guys have seen this. It looks like two mannequins, right? One is pointing at the other, and the other is cringing while the other one says, "This MF paid for Twitter." It's hilarious to me. This thing is hilarious. I saw it. It's not new. This has been out for a while, but it's pretty damn funny. I like it. All right. Let's see. What else do we have here? I did this. I said, don't forget to hit subscribe. If you're just joining us, please hit that subscribe button. I will pop up in your notifications when I have new content, when I have new shows, new guests, new haircut, new beard, everything. You get to see it all live. This is live, by the way. This is happening right now. And let's see. Okay, so today, hang on. I just realized the music was still on. Let me go ahead and cut that off. We don't need the music on right now, do we? We don't need it. Today was kind of like the red wedding of news anchors for like the red wedding from Game of Thrones. If you haven't seen this yet, please do not come at me with, "Hey, spoiler alert," because that shit was finished like 4 years ago. Today there was a culling of sorts on two different. One was on the right, one was on the left. Let's start with the one that was on the left, or it's not even the left anymore. It's kind of like center right. CNN fired Don Lemon today. Don Lemon, who was with CNN for 17 years. And you know what? He's had some good moments and some not good moments, personally, I think his shenanigans on New Year's Eve are hilarious. He's a human being. He's getting fucked up, and I thought that was great. And also, there's some moments that he has not been on top of his game. One incident comes to mind, more recent, when he got into a thing about Nikki Haley's age. And I watched the video. I watched it several times because I knew a lot of people were angry about this, and I wanted to wrap my brain around what they were getting angry about. I guess they were angry that he was kind of doing an ageism thing with Nikki Haley, even though I believe she was the one who brought it up. She brought up the topic when she mentioned mental competency tests for older politicians, and that was aimed at President Biden. And I think Don Lemon might have said something like she's not so young herself, or something to that effect. And then it got blown way. I think it was blown way out of proportion. Um, uh, so yeah, he was that. That was a mediocre. I think he apologized afterward, but I think the damage was already done. The management over there is more right wing. So I stopped watching CNN maybe 2 years ago, uh, and I know that age is a very touchy subject with women in general. Like I learned that when I was young. Like you never ask a woman her age. You just don't. If she offers it, then yeah, whatever. But you don't bring that shit up ever. You shouldn't, and frankly, you really shouldn't bring it up, whether it's a man or a woman. But specifically, women are already being discriminated against just because they're women. If you throw age into that, that's too much. It's too much. So, um, but more recently, he got into a tiff with this guy, Vivek Ramaswamy, right? I think that's how you pronounce his name. He is a Republican candidate, uh, currently with 2%, maybe after his mix up with Don Lemon, maybe now he's at 3%. But the controversy was it was a debate that started because Vivek Ramaswamy was trying to speak to the Black experience. He was basically trying to black explain to Don Lemon. And Don Lemon, oh, thank you, Elaine. Elaine is uh, giving me the correct context of what happened. Don Lemon said that Nikki Haley was past her prime. Yeah, that was a mistake, I think. But anyway, he got into it with Vivek Ramaswamy, who was trying to black explain him about the Black experience, and Don Lemon rightly pushed back. And I do have a clip of that. Let's watch that together, shall we?
With due respect, I find your explanation reductive and actually insulting, including to Black Americans, to say that Black people today, compared to 1964, 1865, haven't made progress in part because of the freedoms we secured. And the Second Amendment was
Black
part
people,
of what secured
hang on,
that
please.
freedom.
I cannot keep a thought if you guys are talking to me in my ear. So hang on 1 second. So to say that Black people, say what you said again.
Black people secured their freedoms after the Civil War. It is a historical fact, Don. Just study it. Only after their Second Amendment rights were secured.
They
That's
were
a
not
fact.
secured their freedoms after the Civil War. That is not, you are discounting Reconstruction. You're discounting a whole host of things that happened after the Civil War when it comes to African Americans, including the whole reason that the Civil Rights Movement happened is because Black people did not secure their freedoms after the Civil War, and that things turned around. People tried to change the freedoms that were supposed to
And you know
happen
how they got it?
War
They got their Second Amendment rights, and they actually got the NRA played a big role in that. But today, Don, the
NRA did not play a big role.
Absolutely, they trained Black Americans how to use firearms.
That's a lie. That's not. The NRA did not play a big role.
This is just historical fact.
It's
but
not historical fact.
The part that I
just
find
because you say it's historical fact.
The part that I find insulting is when you say today Black Americans don't have those rights after we have gone through civil rights revolution in this country.
You are sitting here telling an African American about the rights and what you find insulting about the way I live, the skin I live in every day.
Here's where you and I have
the
a different point of view.
Black and white that Black people don't have in this country, and that Black people do have.
Well, here's where you and I have a different point of view. I think we should be able to express our views regardless of the color of our skin. We should have this debate
I'm not saying you
without me regarding you as a Black man,
insulting that
but
you're
me regarding you
here,
as a fellow citizen.
That you're
That's what I think
sitting
we should
here,
see.
whatever ethnicity you are, explaining to me
whatever ethnicity I am,
about
I'll tell
what it's like to be Black in
Whatever
America.
ethnicity I am, I'll tell you what I am. I'm an Indian American. I'm proud of it. But I think we should have this debate. Black, white, doesn't matter.
I think we should have this
on
debate.
the content of the ideas.
If you're going to do it, you should do it in an honest way and in a fair way. And what you're doing is not an honest and fair way. Okay? But we appreciate you coming on.
With due respect, Don, I look forward to continuing that conversation.
We'll
Thank
continue
you.
the conversation.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you, Papa.
We'll talk about China.
Yes, let's talk about China.
Next time you come back.
Oh, thank you. Much to say on declaring independence from China.
Okay,
Something you
can
can
we move
add
on now, please?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I loved what Don did there. Often we see people like Chuck Todd or Andrea Mitchell will let Republican candidate just steamroll them and filibuster and talk over their voice, and they will talk bullshit. This guy was trying to pitch a narrative that the NRA had something to do with pushing civil rights forward. Nah. No, you're completely ignoring all of the Jim Crow stuff that happened, and the like you said, the Reconstruction stuff, like all of that stuff there. And even after the Civil Rights Act of 1960, what was it, 1964, 65? One of the, I think it was 65. Even after that was passed, we still had a long way to go. We're still going. Still to this day, NRA did not help us, is not helping us. You want to test that? You want to test that shit out? Get a group of brothers. Give them, you get like 20 or 30 African American men. Let them walk down the street, each of them with an AR-15 or AK-47. See what happens. Let's see if everybody's right to be armed, to carry a weapon, is equally protected and equally respected. Let's see. But anyway, so a lot of people are opining that exchange between Don Lemon and Vivek Ramaswamy may be why he was let go. Don himself doesn't know why he was let go. He was kind of blindsided by that, and he posted something. I'm going to read this to you guys. He says, "I was informed this morning by my agent that I have been terminated by CNN. I am stunned. After 17 years at CNN, I would have thought that someone in management would have had the decency to tell me directly. At no time was I ever given any indication that I would not be able to continue to do the work I have loved at the network. It is clear that there are some larger issues at play. With that said, I want to thank my colleagues and the many teams I have worked with for an incredible run. They are the most talented journalists in the business, and I wish them all the best." I don't think he could have put that any better. That was very eloquently stated. Classy. As you know, that's the compliment we black folks get. Classy. He's a classy guy. Whenever you hear the word classy, and if you've never seen this person before, guarantee you they're talking about a black man or a black woman. They're classy. Oh, they're black. 9 times out of 10. But yeah, that was classy. Like I said, I like Don Lemon. He's, none of us are infallible. He's made his mistakes, and I agree with him. I think at the very least, after 17 years, and you find out that way through your agent, that's kind of messed up. That's messed up. Now, with that said, this guy also found out, like, what is even happening where all these people are finding out, like, after the fact? It's weird. Look, I'm going to tell you this. I'm not a fan of Tucker Carlson. I'm not. But if I were to put myself in the shoes of Tucker Carlson, of his audience, but wait, Tucker Carlson, let's be clear. That dude was bringing in the viewers. He was the 800-pound gorilla for Fox News. He was, like him or hate him, agree or disagree with him. He was bringing in the viewers. People were turning up night after night to watch him lie. And, just to kick him to the curb like that after the fact, like when he signed off on Friday night, he was like, "I'll see you guys Monday." And somebody at Fox News was like, "No, you will not." Narrator said he would not be back on Monday. Yeah, He was not back. So I think it's just weird to me. It's very unprofessional to treat your main person like that. It would be like Aaron Judge for the New York Yankees finding out that he has been traded, but finding out the day he's supposed to leave. Just weird, just weird, weird, weird. Anyway, that said, I'm very happy that I am thrilled pink that lying jackass is gone. Indeed. Thank you. Thank you. He has caused a lot of damage to our body politic because, like I said, millions of people were tuning in to watch him uh, night after night, and they believed his lies hook, line, and sinker because the logo on the screen said Fox News, and his viewers took news seriously. And even worse, this stuff that poison was being pumped into our military bases by default. By default, the channels were all tuned in to Fox News. So they didn't have a choice what the lies that they were being indoctrinated with. It's horrible. So yeah, there's been like the biggest lies that he told, I think, that caused the most damage, I think, were about the 2020 election. Granted, he's also been on this replacement theory kick where he's getting white folks all riled up thinking um, that Democrats and liberals want to replace white people with illegal immigrants. That is basically it. That's basically it. He's selling the lie that we want open borders. We want people to come in and overwhelm the voting rolls with illegal votes. That is it, basically. He's sold that lie as though it is gospel. Eat that shit up, that fear eating up. So there's a bunch of memes that came out today that I thought were pretty hysterical. This one wasn't so much hysterical, but this was the shade. This was a tweet by Rachel Maddow this afternoon at 2:25. She just tweeted, "See you tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern on MSNBC." That's it. She didn't say anything about Tucker, but you knew damn well what she was talking about. This one was great. I saw this one. If I had liquid in my mouth at the time, I would have spat it all over the place. Look who still has a job. And if you don't get this one, it's because Tucker was in a tizzy about M&Ms, and specifically the green M&M, who used to wear high-heeled shoes. And then he was upset that she didn't look sexy when now she has sneakers. And I'm not even making that up. I'm not even making it up. It sounds like I'm joking, but I'm not. And this was a meme created by our friend JoJo from Jers, and she wins the award for tweet of the day, meme of the day. Tell Tucker I want him to know it was me. And she's got the face of the green M&M in here's another Game of Thrones reference. Actually, if those of you if there are some of you who have not yet seen Game of Thrones, I highly recommend you set some time aside for yourself, like an hour. I don't know, an hour per week, maybe an hour or two per week to kind of get yourself caught up. It's a great show. You could binge watch the whole thing in a month or two. Great show. So, what's going to happen now? Now that Tucker Carlson is gone, he's gone, effective immediately. He is no longer with Fox News. That's huge. That's as if Rachel Maddow were gone, right? he was Fox News's Rachel Maddow. And Rachel, at least she's weaning, she's slowly weaning us off of her. She's down to one night per week, Monday night. That's it. And then the rest of the night is Alex Wagner, who's doing a very good job too. Thank you, Aries Wanderer, for the compliment on the hat. Somebody asked, John Predicts wants to know, could Tucker run for POTUS? That's a good question. And, it's funny because I had a debate with a friend of mine a few years ago about this very thing. He thought that Tucker had like the pulse of the nation, with which I vehemently disagreed. But it's not, it's undeniable that he has the pulse of a certain segment of America. I don't know that he would want necessarily. I don't know that he would want the job of president, because it's a totally different kind of thing. It's like, that's legislating. That's serious. And sure, Trump, stepped into that job, but he did a horrible job. He did a horrible job. I don't think that's Tucker's calling. Some people were saying, "Oh, he should run for vice president." Uh, have you seen his text messages about Donald Trump, where he said, "I hate him passionately. I cannot wait until we don't have to cover him anymore." That doesn't sound to me like a guy who could honestly be taken seriously as Trump's number 2 guy. So, could he run for POTUS? Absolutely. Will he? I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. Cha Cha says Rachel's podcast, Rachel Maddow, her podcast is good. I would have to agree with that. Definitely should check it out. Robert Carrasco says plenty of time to tan his nuts. That's sick. PAB. Pussy ass bitch. There we go. Yeah, but I thought it was interesting how Rachel, because I watched Rachel obviously tonight. I couldn't wait because her teaser. I thought it was interesting how she did her lead in. She was talking about some priest from way back in the 1900s, who was like the old time equivalent of Rush Limbaugh. And then I was like, I'm sitting there with my wife, and I looked at her. I was like, I don't think maybe she's not going to talk about Tucker. Of course she was. When she got to Rush Limbaugh, I was like, oh. And then she went from Rush Limbaugh to Glenn Beck, and from Glenn Beck to Bill O'Reilly, and from Bill O'Reilly to Tucker Carlson, who has been bumped from CNN. He's been bumped from MSNBC, and now he's been bumped from Fox News. Father Coughlin, thank you. Thank you, Veronica Tello. Yeah, he's been bumped from 3 major cable news networks. He achieved the hat trick of failure. But where will he go? I'm guessing his next move will either be running his own production company. That could be something. He's got a built-in audience, people who are really upset, because I was looking on Twitter. Everybody what were they saying? RIP Fox News was trending. Done with Fox was also trending. So yeah, there are a lot of right wingers there very upset that that Fox let him go. That might have been a big mistake. Apparently, they gave him the heave ho because there's a sexual harassment case that Fox was facing, and I guess enough was enough. They've already got the $787 million case that they're dealing with from Dominion. They got another $2 billion case coming up with Smartmatic. They've got another case coming up with stockholder, either current or former Fox News stockholder. They got lawsuits up the wazoo, and I think they decided with Tucker, who, by the way, had lost over the years, had lost tons of advertisers, tons of them. I guess they decided to cut their losses. That might come back to bite them. But let's see. Aries Wanderer says maybe he can go to OAN. I saw somebody else, excuse me, someone else said maybe he'd go to Newsmax. Gator Girl wants to know who is next to get fired. Bartiromo could be. I would say either her or Judge Janine. Yeah. I don't think. I mean, it could very well be somebody big like Sean Hannity, but if they do that, that would be basically like saying, "All right, we're closing up. This is a fire sale. Everyone must go." So I think it'll be someone either like Maria Bartiromo or Judge Janine, because I think they are expendable as far as Gator. It was you, Gator Girl, said Newsmax or OAN. It's time for Murdoch to go back to Australia. Fox Hill Dreams says, I agree. He's been awful for America. Oh, Veronica Tella says he's going to have a podcast. He'll be a billionaire in like 2 years with a podcast. Just the podcast alone, billionaire. Who knew that podcasts were such a lucrative thing? And I have not managed to. Thomas Rolinski says Gutfeld. I think Gutfeld might be pushed up to a more prominent role. I am not saying that he's funny, but he believes he's funny. That's where he's that's the space that he's positioned himself. He was trying to be like the conservative version of Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon. He is neither. He's neither. He's does not belong in the same conversation, in the same sentence, in the same paragraph, the same page. But that is how he envisions himself. And I don't know. I saw a few clips way back when. I was like, that dude ain't funny. He's not funny at all. But yeah, no, I think he's probably cheap enough where they can keep him, and it's better to have him than not have him, kind of thing. He's like a spare tire. Gutfeld is a spare tire. You have him in the trunk. He's that's it there. Robert Carrasco wants to know, is it Hannity or Ingram next? I think it's neither. Seriously, it's got to be someone small, because if you knock off another big one there, you're going to have investors freaking out, and they're still trying to run a business. This is Fox News is not news. It's a business. It's more infotainment. It's actually just tainment. it's tainment. It's not even info. It's just tainment. We got another prediction from Simon. Says Tucker will be on RT next week. I don't doubt that. In fact, I'm pretty sure he's been on RT a few times already. Tucker Carlson would outdo Joe Rogan. You guys are funny. Thomas says Murdoch has destroyed parliamentarian democracy in 5 countries. Aaron David says that Gutfeld is the budget version of Gilbert Gottfried. Nah, I wouldn't even give him that. Gilbert Gottfried actually was a very funny motherfucker. That dude was funny. Yeah, he had an annoying voice, right? But that was part of his humor. You either you got it or you didn't. That dude was funny. Uh, yeah, he's just mean, not funny. Oh, that's interesting. Geocosmic Valentine says he's fired because of the investors. All right, maybe you guys know more than I do. I don't doubt that because it is what it is. Hey, Monique, I see you there, Monique Lee. All right, so questions. Do I have questions from peoples out there? Give me your questions. Oh, let me give you a heads up, or not a heads up, but an update. Remember, I told you guys about this thing here. There it is. I couldn't show it before. See that thing on my arm there? I was concernicus about it. Turns out, so I went to the dermatologist today. I had a what is known as a full body scan. I was standing there in one of those robes where your butt's out. And they checked everything, even in between my toes. Uh, this is benign. This is nothing. It's just I forget what she called it. It's just it's a nothing. It's not concernicus, but I want to remind you guys, those of you who are watching, who are up in my age range. I'm going to be 55 on Friday. Friday, the big 5-5. I want to remind you guys that it is very important to have your skin checked at least once a year. That's it, once a year, because skin cancer can catch you and you don't even realize it until it's too late. So at least once a year, do yourself a favor, do that. The check took 5-10 minutes tops. It's and I feel like I was worried. I was actually worried about this thing because it felt like it had been getting bigger. Uh, Probably was my imagination. She looked right at it and she's like, "Oh no, that's a." And then she read off some scientific name for it, and I was like, "Whew, a relief." John predicts, says, what makes me sad is that some people actually believe the Russian propaganda claim that Russia isn't invading Ukraine. John, that is because there are a significant number of prominent voices on the right that are feeding that narrative straight faced and shamelessly. Shamelessly. Now, there are some right wing voices that don't believe that are not pro Russian. Like, I hate to say it, but freaking Lindsey Graham. I hate to bring his name up because he's such a nobody, but he's one of those guys who still, despite all of his asininery, his bullshittery, uh, he still can see straight when it comes to Russia versus Ukraine. Um, and speaking of war, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the conflict going on in Sudan right now. I say I say conflict, but it looks like it's actually a war, a civil war being fought in Sudan. Is very dangerous. Our American embassy was emptied out, evacuated. 70 people were shipped back here. Thank God they're safe. But we still have thousands of Americans, still American civilians, still in Sudan. That's a bit worrying because what happens if you know we get Americans taken hostage? Now it's a real problem. It's already a real problem. There's a lot of people are going to die right there, and I hate war in general, but I hate what's about to happen. I'm going to tell you what's about to happen. What's about to happen is um, that there's going to be a war spiraling out of control in Sudan, and more focus is going to be put on Ukraine, and people are going to draw comparisons and say they're going to say, "Oh, you focus, you send all those billions of dollars to Ukraine. Why you don't send it to the brown people in Sudan?" That is what we're going to see, and it's probably the point is probably going to be valid. Why not? We have all these billions of dollars worth of supplies and weapons, and like so I don't know. Like, war is not my lane. They say stay in your lane. That's not my lane. The geopolitics. I don't know. I don't know foreign policy. It's not my thing. Scott Samuelson has a question, but before I move on from that, I just want to say when you guys see that I'm not tweeting about Sudan, it's because I realize that I have a significant platform, right? And if I'm not 100% sure about something, I'm not going to tweet about what I don't know. I don't want to make a bad situation worse by saying some shit that might inflame tensions or whatever. So that's it. I care. It's not that I don't care about Sudan. It's just that I don't know what I would be talking about. Scott Samuelson wants to know, BDD, why don't the Dems blast on a loudspeaker about SCOTUS? Durbin's request by letter is so weak. Dude, I'm with you. I feel like, I mean, I love the fact that I'm on the right side of history. I just hate the fact that our leaders seem so goddamn weak. Weak. I sometimes I want to blow torch when they're going at it with a feather tickler. Um, I agree. I think I don't know why they're not doing that, but it's an excellent question there. Thomas Rolinski is saying Sudan is just coming out of civil war that split the country into Sudan and South Sudan. Yeah, this is fucking horrible. It's horrible. And something I watched, I just want to say, I saw a video from this guy who is from Sudan. And I don't know if you guys saw this too, but he was talking about this war going on. And he's saying it's a proxy war, actually, that the two disputing, they're both from the army. Both sides of this conflict, of this war, are from the army. It's as if our U.S. Army split into two halves and they were fighting each other. That's insane to me. That's insane. But one side is apparently a proxy of Russia, and the other side is a proxy of the United States. That's what he was saying. I didn't retweet it. It sounded like very intelligent, but I don't know if, that's another thing. Come to think of it, I have refrained from retweeting stuff from Ukraine as well. Why? Because I don't want to be an instrument of propaganda when human lives are at stake. And I know that happens in what they call the fog of war. When war is going on, you really don't know what's going on the ground. Even if you're on the ground, if you're there, if you're an American correspondent on the ground in Ukraine and you're reporting on stuff, all you know is what the generals are telling you, unless there's bombs dropping right by you and you say a bomb just dropped right by me. But as far as being able to tell the tide of the war, you can't tell. All you can rely on is your handlers, whether it's American military or Ukraine military, telling you what's actually happening, like breaking it down for you, and then you report it. But who knows what which of the things that are happening there are actually happening, or what stuff is just like, I don't know, deep fakes, AI, nobody really knows. So yeah, I tend to like not jump in on the war stuff unless it's something that is 100% verifiable. Yeah. God damn. Too much war here, Jenny Rayner. Too much war going on. God damn right. Luciel says, looks like the whole globe is on fire. Yeah, this is not, it's not good. I'm not your pal friend says Panthers would be massacred faster today with pump actions and hunting rifles than they were back then. I'm assuming you're talking about animals and not Black Panthers. I know, or way back when, about 45 minutes ago, we were talking about the NRA and Black people. So I don't know if you are still on that topic with someone in our group here. Simon says you're pretty close to having your own civil war to comment on. I don't think so. I know that the rhetoric gets heated here, but I think Americans are just too comfy right now. I think Americans are. We don't want that shit. We don't. Honestly, we don't want that drama. I'll tell you what I'm seeing a lot of though. Somebody is trying to stir some shit up with us, and I think I showed you guys my bookmarks on Friday, and one of my bookmarks was on race war narrative, and it's because I come across a lot of tweets that are videos that show Black people being super duper aggressive and violent towards white people, right? I'm not discounting that that's happening. I know it's happening. But the way that these videos and these tweets are framed, they come at you with so much volume, you think that this is happening everywhere. That you're going to go to your grocery store and some Black person is going to jump from out from behind the juice aisle and clobber you, or a gang of Black people are going to do that, because that's what they're showing. They're showing the thing that happened in Chicago, which was horrible. They attacked a couple, and these were some teenagers that went out wilding. It's horrible, but it's along with what's that guy's name? The Scott Adams, was it the Dilbert artist? He was saying that white people should move away from Black people, and that's another part of this narrative of Black and white can't get along. That shit is not right. Half of my neighbors are white. That's crazy. So there are some bad actors on Twitter right now that have been welcomed back into Twitter. These people with ill intentions that want people to think that there is some kind of fucking race war happening. It's not. It's a narrative that somebody is trying to create. Someone's trying to raise the temperature. And the best way to do it, unfortunately, is through social media. These things are like wildfire when they're on Instagram, they're on Facebook, Twitter. Those are the three main vehicles that people are using to move these videos. There's one account called Fight. I think it's called Fight Haven. There's another one, videos that go hard. You will come across these videos on Twitter, and it's showing a lot of this negative imagery and stuff. And I choose not to consume that, and that's not what my world looks like. But that is the message that some of those people are trying to pass. People like Tucker Carlson, for instance. Tucker Carlson with his replacement theory narrative. That shit. Gator Girl, another one, good one. Most people want to live in peace. The rest want the world to burn. Indeed. Another one, Robert Carrasco. It boils down to racists that 45 made normal. He normalized that. And Jenny Rayner says, I say segregation still exists. It never really went away. They merely removed the signs. That's a deep thought. That is a deep thought indeed. Samantha Hawkins say, I was taught, don't start shite, won't be shite. Scott Samuelson wants to know, what do you believe to be Musker's end game or his use of Twitter? Well, as I understand it, he wants to convert Twitter into an everything app. There is an app that's in China. I'm sorry, I cannot remember the name of it. But oh wait, is it called WeChat? I think it's called WeChat. Correct me if I'm wrong. WeChat. And on WeChat in China, they do everything. It's like an app that has messaging, it has pictures, it has like social media, and you can pay for things with this app. And so that's what he wants. Apparently, he wants to mold Twitter into. He wants to mold Twitter into a WeChat so that people can do e-commerce there. And I don't know if he's analyzed the kind of content traffic going through WeChat and if that content is as polluted as the stuff that I'm seeing on Twitter right now. Because why would you want to create an everything app that's starting off from such a rotten, disgusting place where it's like a dark web basically? Why would you want to create that kind of marketplace where it's not friendly to everybody? It's only friendly to those white supremacists and Nazi, anti-Semitic. Why would you do it? So yeah, I think that's what Elon's end game is. He wants to make Twitter into a WeChat. Trump Reaper says people were doing e-commerce on Twitter before Musk bought it. The accounts to block are the promoted advertisers. Oh boy, I've probably in the past week blocked between 200 and 300 different advertisers. Kid you not. Just, every day I probably blocked about anywhere from 50 to 60 people. Yep. All right, you guys. La 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 la. Thank you very much for joining me for another episode of Late Night with BDD. Excuse me. I'm your host, BDD, aka Brooklyn Dad. What art thou waiting for? Get thine shot. Get your shot. Wear your mask. Keep your social distance 6 feet or better. And have a lovely, relaxing evening. I will most likely be back, not Thursday, or wait a minute. Is it going to be Thursday or Friday? I haven't made up my mind yet. I'm either going to have a show on my birthday or the day before. And when will I know? Wednesday. I'll let some of you guys know, and you can spread the word. Yeah, this was fun. Trump Reaper said she knew this would be a good show with the Tuckums thing. Yeah, when I got word about that this morning, I was like, it's Christmas? It's a big deal. Somebody else had told me, what was it, earlier today? They said, during the show, they were like, "Hey, man, just enjoy, enjoy the good news." And yeah, I got to remind myself sometimes to enjoy the good news and ignore the bullshit. Ignore the bullshit. All right, so I love you guys, and I will see you all same time, same place. Peace. Elaine Prieto with the excellent reminder to please remember to hit the like button. Musk needs to concentrate on SpaceX and keeping his spaceships from exploding. What do they call that? Rapid unscheduled something rapid unscheduled disassembly. That's crazy. All right, you guys, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here because you need to leave.